So happy to see you here, and also happy to have the opportunity to present on this tiny little test of a specific interest of mine, streaming services interfaces, or put more short form, how to collect and replay playback. Because when we use streaming services interface, we play back various content. We're the legal deposit institution in Denmark, so this is about the content. We are collecting the content outside of the test, but what I'm interested in is the context. But we're recording Flow TV. We do actually try to collect content from a few streaming services, the national public media DR and TV2, and otherwise ebooks and music is collected through an aggregator, and of course we have web archiving. Let's not delve into that. You're perhaps already full on web archiving already. So the research that I've done so far up to this test. In 2022, I looked into mapping streaming services that we have in the Danish Web Archive. So what can we replay from? This jittering is not part of the presentation. I didn't do this to annoy you people, so I'm very sorry for that. Maybe it's just HDMI fatigue. I don't know. Yeah. So I had a look, and it was depressing results. Of course, we hadn't crawled behind paywalls, so we had some screenshots, and I did some screenshots of what we had, and I looked across 50 plus different streaming services that are available in Denmark. And then last year, I did a research article with a media studies scholar, Mats. He showed me his, and I showed him mine. Or ours, actually, because he was also collecting streaming services. He's doing screenshots of various front pages of different streaming services, and we did a case study on DRTV and Netflix. Also, again, results depressing because we had collected outside paywalls. And of course, a bit of background as well is that the browser-based crawling system for all is a project in IIPC with various members, and the Royal Danish Library is one of these members. So that's how I got my access to this. I'm not part of that project, so this is a parallel project. And then, of course, the actual tool is also in development, it's you all know this. This is just background. So the test, how did I set it up? I got, through my colleagues, I got access to these various tools. There's the beta version, and we did a local install of browser tricks at the library, which enable us to have a local IP address, which is interesting or necessary actually for crawling national content, because sometimes the IP address is actually blocking what content you can gain access to. And I also, at various points, tested against or used the webarchive.page browser extension in Chrome. And the requirement, of course, was we have to log in and crawl behind paywalls, and we want to use user profiles, of course, because of the selected content, which is personalized in many cases, and therefore we had to have a tool that could do that. Of course, I set up the test after knowing the tool, so this is those are just heuristics. But I looked at Netflix, DRTV, TV2 Play, Twitch TV, Spotify as well. And then I wanted to look at ebooks as well, but most ebook services, on-demand services, are only apps in Denmark, so I had to drop that along the way. And I have to report on barriers to entry and resources needed as part of the test, so that we can see what are the only an approximation, so that we can see, is this a feasible way of collecting this type of material and their context. No, not the type of material, but the context. Sorry if I'm confusing you guys. Let me give a clearer example. The graphical user interface, that's my interest. And then I wrote typical user experience in quotation marks, because there would be the opportunity to do various types of uses. So we could do personas. That's what is afforded in the software. But this is just to illustrate that we have the catalog, and then it's narrowed down towards playback. And of course, we can't collect all of the catalog or examples of it because it's more or less hidden. Each person is showed a personalized version or presentation of the actual catalog. And this goes for most services. Some are more open. The DRTV is more open. We have an API connection to them, so that's not a hidden catalog, but Netflix is a hidden catalog. And then you can select a genre, and then you can select a series, and then you can select an episode. And for each step, there's various different types of information that you would want to capture or crawl. And in the actual playback situation, we just want the clip. We don't want the actual content. As I said, the content we have or will try to collect by other means, but we would want the user interface. We would want to show the play button. This is how it will load. This is how it looked when we used, let's say, Netflix in 2024. There are some limits to this test, as there always is. Limited time frame and resources. I did this Fridays for 6 months, only me. As a very small selection of streaming services, but I hope you can take this away as some type of proof of concept. I did this out of pocket. I didn't go to my head of section and say, I need Netflix, I need all these. No, I just took whatever I could find, and I had my parents' Netflix connection. So it worked out. Because I paid for all the other ones. Sorry, yeah. And unfortunately, it's only web versions of graphical user interfaces. We couldn't do mobile apps. We can't do mobile app versions yet. And this is a tool in development, which caused me some interesting errors along the way. And I suspect that this exact error is, and it says, sorry, couldn't create browser profile at this time. And I suspect that it has to do with reloading the Brave browser underneath, and because of some plug. So there's a lot of that. And I go to my more technical-minded colleagues and say, what is this? Well, I can't explain it. Create an issue in the GitHub. So I started doing that. Sorry for that, you guys, whoever received those. I think it's maybe, you are present, so I apologize in advance for my poor issue creations or bug reports. But the test results, setting up the browser profiles that let us choose browser user profiles to crawl different versions of GUIs is an absolute win and a plus in this. And we do see improved collection, which means more graphical user interface per page than we did with the Heritrix crawls. We do get video. We get snippets of transport streams, and I'll come back to that. However, and I think this is from my selection of various streaming services, there's an inconsistent crawl. It's not running smoothly, and it can have so many sources. So we'll see. But one that struck me, and one that is most prominent, is the fact that digital rights management protection of content seems to hinder that content is actually being requested from the CDN. And if the content is not being requested, then the graphical user interface does not load. This was the case with Netflix and Spotify and Twitch TV. So we didn't actually get the play button, so to say. And there's some issues with this Brave browser being not really supported by some services. The opportunity to watch crawls, what we could expect in playback is a very impressive opportunity, and something that is important in terms of who can we expect to help us collect this type of material. The barrier to entry seems lower than what we just got presented in the reprocip. It's also a win that it's early days for the tool in development. We can hope for better replay, because transport streams do not autoplay. They're not working, and especially not working in the hero section or the carousel. The the upper elements and the most prominent parts of the graphical user interfaces. Thank you. There seems to be some incorrect matchup of content in the replay. I'll give a few examples. I might be dumb, but crawl cannot automatically press play. I would have wanted that. So we have to be very manual, or could we automate this? This is something that I would want to look into further. And then it seems that this DRM protection is hindering crawls and therefore the replay of the playback. Let me give you guys a few examples. This is the live website, DRTV, the left one. So this is what it looked like when we had a building burning in the backyard. And you see the automatic roll of the header or the hero section of the web page. It should stop presently. I will then play the archive version from inside the tool. And it's not really working. It's not content. This is don't stay seated. It's just a minor error. We'll fix it, I hope. So we'll see also that it's bringing up different content. So this episode from a TV series called Earth Calling. Why is the card disappearing? And this woman holding a card is the correct image to recall. And for some reason, the archived page just collects another image from the database, and of course we can't preserve that. But the image might exist, but it's recalling the wrong image, and it's recalling from a CDN, and there might be something with the naming of the assets. Let me give you guys another example. This is a replay of the Netflix interface. Also, again with the elements that are crawled and how they are being presented in the replay. So we get a different asset in the layover. So it's the Chestnut Man TV series. And then in the other TV series layover, there is the actual trailer from Chestnut Man, but it's just being recalled in a different frame. So there's something going on. And then again, it just really wants me to promote big show. So we have some issues here that we can delve into further. But in any case, we can actually approach the catalog behind paywalls, which is an absolute win for us. We get to see the metadata as it is presented to the user, and this is what is so essential to me. It's part of the user experience. And you could, of course, say, well, we have the content, we have most of the metadata. Could we be content? Is the play button even part of cultural heritage? And I, of course, am arguing, yes, it is. We do need this very essential play and pause button and all its cousins in the graphical user interface. I haven't had many successes in testing, but it's really great that browser-based scrolling is still in development. So I'm hopeful. Concerning barriers to entry, it's really important that Browsertricks has an intuitive user interface, and this is something I see also promoted in the QA that I saw, the QA tools that I saw presented in an earlier talk. This is really impressive, and I'm very happy that it's more user-friendly than Heritrix. In terms of resources needed, well, it really depends on your selection criteria. If you want to collect all 50 plus streaming services, it will take some time, and if you want to have 10 plus personas, it will take even more time. Concerning resources needed, well, we've come a huge step in the right direction in terms of collecting behind paywalls, but there's still a lot to be done, and testing and development continues, and you can follow and contribute on GitHub as I have learned to do in this case. So thank you very much.